What's up, bro?
Hello, Wyatt.
How's it going?
Honestly, if you were to ask right now, 10 out of 10. If you were to ask this morning, 10 out of 10.
The greatest day ever.
It's a beautiful day. There was a little bit of snow in Louisville this morning. I got to run with Dan today before we headed back to St. Louis.
Cheeky little 5-miler.
Nice.
We snuck it right in, bro. Yeah.
As
What'd
we
you do
always
today,
do.
Wyatt?
It was tight, but we got it in.
We were tight.
Ran a quick, did a quickie, 5:24 pace. No big deal. 5
What?
hours and 24 minutes.
Oh.
They all looked at me like, what?
Wait,
Did you run a marathon today?
Yeah, in Tulsa, number 49.
I thought the Tulsa Marathon was like a week ago.
So Route 66 was the same day as Philly, and I didn't know that. And someone slid up in my story, and they're like, hey, how are you going to do both of these in the same weekend if they're on the same day? I was like, oh, nice. And that was like 3 weeks ago. And so then I was like, well, I need to find another one. And what are the odds that the one open weekend for the rest of the year before Hawaii had another one in Tulsa? So I ran a trail marathon this morning. It's called the Half and Half. Half trail, half road.
Was it
my
fun?
gosh.
100%. Yeah.
I was
It's
so
fun.
confused when I saw your story earlier today. You're running in a full Santa outfit.
Yeah.
There was like nobody behind you in your story. And I'm like, is he just like soloing this thing? Because I'm pretty sure Tulsa was a week ago. That makes so much sense now.
Yep.
Wow, nice. Are you dude? Why are you excited to go sub 3 here in a few months, bro?
Oh, 100%. 100%. I can't wait to be actually fast, like to actually train.
For what it's worth, you are actually fast. I mean, you run like 3:20s like when you're like really trying, and that's like after you've ran like 2 marathons like 6 days ago. Like with no recovery at all and no speed training. You just like raw dog 2 marathons in one weekend.
Last week in Philly, which is thank you for saying that. Last week in Philly was 3:23, and then this Thursday for the half was 1:39. So, and then today I was like, all right, trail, gotta slow down.
Wyatt, it's crazy. Full circle. The first time we had you on the pod, I think you had like 6,000 followers on Instagram, I want to say, or something, and now you're over 60K now, I want to say. So,
Just hit 70 today.
okay, so you're hitting 10K a week pretty much.
Yeah.
Dude, what on earth happened between when we had you on and now?
I can give the credit to Alec, my buddy, because over the summer when y'all met me, it was right before I made the switch of like actually posting videos. Because my buddy Alec was asking me like, hey, what's going on? How's the content going? And I had already told so many of my friends like, oh, like I'm just waiting until the end of the challenge to edit the videos or X, Y, and Z. And I'm like, how many years am I going to give myself this excuse of not following up with the thing that I set my life up to do? And so I was like, all right. Like as I was explaining it to him, I was like, you know what, man? Things are not going good. I've not been posting videos. I've just been running. Like anyone can go out there and run. I need to actually put in the work. And he's like, well, do it. I was like, okay. And so then I started posting videos and like, wow, it's actually crazy. When you post videos and you learn from them, they do well and then you grow. So
Would you say, because we on the first episode we talked about like the Masogi, right? Or like do one super memorable thing a year. Do you think your Masogi this year was everything you wanted it to be?
yeah, that's what I've learned about like the challenge. I needed a challenge so big that it would require the best out of me every single week. And this definitely is the best Masogi I could have chosen for this year. I think with marathons up on the trend, as well, like physically being disciplined has helped me grow personally. On top of like physically, like the mental development has been insane. So,
I would say too, financially, I can't imagine how hard it's been.
but that's the thing. Like eventually I'm gonna have kids. You just find a way to make it work. So then now's the time that I get to experience that pressure without the responsibility of human life. So
Yeah.
we always find a way. That's the phrase that I've adopted because like in order for the dream to happen, I have to find a way. So if I don't find a way, then the dream doesn't happen. So it's like, all right, we always find a way because the dream is going to happen.
I had a phone call with you, Wyatt, before Philly, I think, and you're like, dude, there's been twice now, maybe 2 or 3 times where you've been like, dog, I don't know if this challenge, I think we might be toast. And I think for Philly, I was like, there's always a way.
Yeah.
Dude, and I've instilled that in like with like work. I had this like stressful situation at work that happened on last night that I realized, and I have to handle it tomorrow. And it's really not that big of a deal, but I'm like, I literally thought about you, and I'm like, there's always a way. Like it's not going to be. And then I like just came up with the solution, and I'm going to attack it tomorrow.
That's the crazy part. When you highlight the problems, they grow bigger. But when you highlight the solution, it appears to you. And so it's like, if there's always a way, because there always is,
Well,
then you find it.
most of the time, 99% of the time, there's a way. Sometimes there's really not.
But that's the thing. There's always a way. Like there always is. It's just like sometimes it's something that I don't want to do, or that like it would go against my morals, right? But there's always a way to do it. And then the question there is just like, all right, majority of the time, can I put myself in a situation where I don't have to go against my morals?
When we first had you on, you had just done the 4th of July. I remember because you were telling us about people waxing your chest mid-race. So you must have been around halfway through your yearly marathon journey at that point. And Scotty just said Philly. Obviously, we want to talk about what happened getting into Philly, but I'm trying to think like of all the moments like between when we last talked, because there's too many to like.
I can try to walk through. So
yeah, I would love to do that. Yeah.
Do we talk about we didn't talk about the ultra 75 miler?
Oh no, that was after. Yeah, okay. I completely forgot about that. That was crazy.
Yeah, so I think I did the Peachtree Road Race July 4th. And Danny, I was literally just looking at our DMs, and you sent the DM July 3rd. So I went back and looked, and I was like, holy cow, like I had only had 3 videos that did well at that point. The third marathon I ran in Mississippi, slept in the car, that video did well. The one where I ate the rack of ribs, and then one where I had like 20 medals around my neck saying that my dream was to run a marathon in all 50 states. And so then, I don't know, that's crazy to be here to where like now every single weekend there's a video that does well. But I think the one right after was the 75 miler, which, I think I was prepared to do 75 miles. My buddy from high school, his name's Brennan, goes out there and raw dogs a 75 miler. Is that not insane?
He had no running before that, really?
He ran like very fast miles in high school, and I think college as well. But he didn't do marathon training. I think that was his first marathon.
Wow.
That's
like it was just he did a marathon like unofficially. So I think this was his first official marathon. I can't quite remember. But he goes out there having not trained at all, and like 30 miles, 1 week before, and that was it. And we did like 75 miles, and so like, yeah, that was crazy. I think that was like the turning point, because that week when I was filming the video, it wasn't just me filming footage. I had the end video in mind before I went out to film. And so then like having the end product ready to go, that way, like there's a quote from Rob, no, what's his name? 48 Laws of Power.
Robert
Yeah,
E.
I know the book. I'm gonna Google it for you.
Yeah.
I was joking. It's not Robert E. Lee.
No,
Robert Greene.
Robert Greene. Yeah, there's a quote from Robert Greene that talks about like, if you're gonna go, just plan to the end. There's another like passage, if you're gonna go all the way, by Charles Bukowski, and I heard both these from Lex Friedman, and when he read it out, like that was crazy. But it was like a shift of like, all right, I need to have the end in mind before I get started, because like when you just film footage, it's hard to pull together a video. But when you have the end in mind, then you just get the pieces, you put it together, you can get the content out in an hour.
Azoya Joe sent us like a sound clip of what you learned from you.
No way.
In regards to like social media and stuff, it was really good. It was super informative for our purposes. About like how your thought process of making a video, and and then Danny sent us some like examples of like what he taught you in action in your videos, and you can see why some of them go viral. Like you have a hook at the beginning, and Yeah, it's super good.
I'm just smiling right now because I know Scotty hasn't listened to it or watched the video.
No, I haven't yet. No, I thought you were. I didn't know what you were laughing at, Danny. I meant to, and I think about it every day, and I'm pretty sure it's timed out again. I'm pretty sure you have to send it to me again, bro.
I would love access to that because, like, I want to hear the lessons that Joe has learned.
Oh, dude, we can
That's
send you
nice.
if it's still available. Yeah,
I'll dig it up.
yeah. He was like
That's
on a
sick.
plane. It's like a minute and a half long. Super cool.
Maybe I can send you the audio and you put it on the pod.
Ooh, that'd be cool.
That'd be
We
cool.
put it in right
Listen
now.
to this now.
Now. No, wait. Now.
How about now?
Now.
Man, this is gonna be a tough edit.
Splice
Saying
it in
now
there.
too much.
Hey, we can get in there though.
Yeah,
We
we'll
can
get
make
it
it
in there.
work. How you feeling, Wyatt? How's your body feeling after this? This is like, I mean,
Feeling
you
good.
know,
So, well, let's go back to the time frame. Just go full circle. So after that was 25. It wasn't until 35 that another video did well. I'm not exactly sure what happened in between 25 and 35. There's probably something in there that was interesting. I think New Mexico, that was interesting. I think that was in between the two. Omaha was 35. We'll talk about New Mexico first. When I went out to New Mexico, the flight landed at midnight because that was just the only flight I could get. And so then I had to drive from Denver down to New Mexico because it was just cheaper to go that way, right? International airport. I couldn't just go fly into Phoenix or anything like that. So then driving down to like through the night, I got there at 7 a.m., bought the race bib that morning, and then started the race. And I was already just dead exhausted because I had to drive through the night. I had 1 hour sleep on the plane. To run that marathon on no sleep was very difficult because it was a trail marathon, which I absolutely hate, despise. And it was like an ultra marathon as well. They didn't tell us that until the end. So, I'm going out with 26 miles in mind. And in the first like half of the marathon, we went up, I don't know, I think it was like 2,500 feet of elevation. So it was like already very hilly. And I was cooking though. I was like, all right, today's gonna be like a great, really fast time. And, I get through the first half, we circle back. There's this like massive hill that you go down. And so when you go down it, like that was mile 15 or so, everyone was just walking back up. And so that was the spot that kind of mentally broke everyone. But then you get to the end of the marathon, exhausted, and they send you up it's like at a ski resort. They send you up a ski lift. And so the final 4 miles from 25 to 29, you go up this ski lift. And that 2 mile stretch took me at least an hour and a half. And then to get back down, my Achilles and my inside of my ankle were just destroyed at that point. Because this, during the summer was when my body was really hurting. And so, yeah, I finished in like 7 hours.
wow.
And so it ended up being like 29 miles. It was insane. And so New Mexico was wild, like absolutely crazy. Omaha was fun because that's the one where I flew out in the overalls. And literally, I didn't bring a backpack or any other clothes. I was just wearing the outfit for the marathon. I had my keys, my wallet, and I had 2 gels and a ketone IQ, and that was it.
That was a back-to-back day, right?
No, so that one, that was just on Saturday. I flew out
Okay.
Friday night, and I didn't have a place to stay. He's now my buddy, but my buddy Jack, who was a stranger at that time, just sent me a DM. He's like, dude, if you need a place to crash, we've got a couch. I was like, oh, sick. And so I get there, having never met him before, and I was like, hey man, how's it going? I'm wearing the overalls. He's like, hey, how's it going? And then we go downtown because I was like, I want to, actually get to know them. And so that night before running Omaha in the overalls with nothing else, like just that, no backpack, I went downtown and we had 6 beers. And then, yeah, which I don't drink, right? I never drink. But I was like, might as well like have fun. And went back, fell asleep. It was like 1 o'clock in the morning, woke up around 5. So I had 4 hours sleep. I ripped to 340. And so I was like, all right, sick.
Wow.
So I was like, hey, it's perfect way to carb load. And, you run on adrenaline. So it gives you all the energy in the world to run a fast time. People put so much stress on having the perfect conditions. You just need to get out there and no matter what happens, put in a good time.
Dude, how do you like blindly trust someone you don't know to like stay at their place?
I mean, seems like a chill guy. Saw his Instagram profile. I was like, all right, this is sick. You might as well like test it out, test the waters, and then like I think I gave him a call as well. I'm a pretty good judge of character early on, so like I can tell in like a tone of voice or over texts how a person is And so he just seemed like a really chill guy. And I was like, all right, sick. And now, like, I'm getting invited to his wedding. We're talking about the girls we're interested in. Like, yeah, it's pretty sick.
No way.
Yeah, we're best buds now.
So, Omaha, that was the video that Danny sent as like the example of Joe's what he learned from you. And the video starts, you're in the airport and you're like, I'm running, the Omaha Marathon this weekend, and this is the only clothes I brought, something like that. And
Yeah,
and that's the hook. Yeah, and it was an awesome video. Yeah,
thank you.
yeah,
Yeah,
that one popped off too.
it's actually interesting. I mean, the idea was cool. It was flashy, but I think one of the things that really helped was that was one of the only ones where I put running a marathon in overalls and then in parentheses 26 miles, because so many people have no idea what a marathon is. They hear it, they're like, "How long is your? What type of marathon are you running? How long is your marathon?"
Yeah.
So it's one distance. There's no, this is not like a Olympic triathlon versus like a sprint triathlon. You run the distance of a marathon. So
Yeah, that's a pro move.
yeah.
All right, I'm trying to think. There was one too. I don't know how close this was to Omaha, but you're in Washington and it was like in a tunnel.
Oh
Was that
yeah.
was that shortly after, or
Yeah, I think that was before.
that was
I think that was
before?
like 32 or something like that. But Seattle was fun because another guy who's running all 50 states, Oleg, once again, someone who reached out and was like, "Hey, I'm running these marathons." He also has a social media following. He's known as like that pillow guy. That's his Instagram handle, and like everyone knows who he is. It's crazy. And so he reached out. He's like, "Dude, if you want a place to crash, like my buddies and I do this all the time. I'm gonna be at this race in Seattle. Like, let's just link up." And so I was like, "Yeah, let's do it." So having never met him, just drove out there and like literally he's asleep and I had to wake him up because flight got in super late. And then like we were talking on the way to start line the next day and like ran the marathon. He almost missed his flight after it was done. So just a really fun weekend. We've done a couple of those so far. So now we're best buds. Like if you open the door to serendipity, good things happen. And so then I think that's the word that I was looking for. But during the marathon, I just was filming videos inside of this tunnel. And that is the most popular video I've posted like ever on Instagram is from this marathon. And so it's like, nothing special, just filming videos in this tunnel. The recap didn't do too great, but everyone was commenting about this one TV series on Netflix. They were like, this reminds me of the Hunter Games. And I was like, what is that? So I look up on TikTok, Hunter Games. I look up on YouTube, just learn a little bit about it. And then I repost a video not even 12 hours later, basically the exact same video with the Hunter Games soundtrack in the background. I'm running the Hunter Games. And the video has 11 million views. It's at 800,000 likes, which is insane.
That's
And
like
so it's
that's like an anime show, right?
yeah, it's just like a challenge where they run a marathon through a tunnel. It's one of the parts of the Hunter Games. I had no idea what it was, but and you can see like my buddy Tyler commented. He's like, "Who's Hunter?" It's got 50,000 likes on that comment. It's insane. And so it's like I think what I learned from that is like it's difficult for me to establish context for the marathon challenge. So I had to make a shift. A lot of my videos, the hook is this weekend I'm running my 35th marathon of 2024. It's just too much. People don't understand it, right? I need them to have the least amount of context necessary to enjoy the video. And so then what I learned with Omaha was like, oh, when you have a fun video, that's like, and then you put 26 miles up there, it's easier for them to understand it. They can watch the video and really appreciate it, right? And then whatever happens after that, they understand. They have context. But then what I learned with this one was that they already had context installed in their brain. So that when they see the video, it's tapping into a pop culture reference. That way, people already know it before they even see the video. So when they watch it, like they immediately know what to comment. They have all the context they need to appreciate the video. And then it's like those are the super viral videos. Is when you have something that's visually appealing. So I was like running through a tunnel, but then as well, the main point here, it has context that is immediately installed in their brain or like automatically, able to recall.
Man, you got the formula figured out, man.
Now I need to figure out how to make money because I have $34 in my bank account.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
So
I have
have you
I've
like
got a
accepted
table
any
coming
money
in.
from sponsors or anything this year, or like Ketone or anything?
I have, but like, it's just I don't know. I've got money from a table coming in, but because like every single week I'm just getting back out there and like it was around Marathon 25 that I had to like in May, so around Marathon 22, that I had to start paying for flights week of. That was what really killed me because like the
Yeah.
flight to Tulsa, it would have been like $100. I paid $300 for a one-way ticket, and that's like the worst one was another video that did well. People loved the hook is when I was sleeping outside the start line at Missoula.
Huh.
Did we talk about that one?
Yeah. Porta
Okay,
potty?
yes, yeah. Oh
That was
yeah, I
crazy,
told you the
dude.
full details. That's
I can't
crazy.
believe you did that.
Hey, whatever it takes and wherever it takes me. And here we are, number 49. Which is crazy because like last year, this is what I've been telling everyone is like, I had no idea I could do it. Just one week at a time, you slowly start taking away at this massive endeavor, and then now you're here. But yeah, for that one, prime example is I get paid for a table. Well, then immediately every dollar that I have in my bank account goes to buying this ticket, the flight. And I have to get the flight because, like, even if I don't have the marathon entry, like Philly, for example, at least I have the flight covered. So when I get out there, I can try to figure out something. And that's what happened with Philly.
Yeah.
Oh,
Dude, like
Didn't
you
you did you take out a loan when you started?
Yeah, so this is something I don't really like talking about because I don't want to ever encourage anyone to go into debt because most people don't know how to use debt as a tool. They use it to just to buy something, for example, like redoing a kitchen or something like that. It's good to do that when you have like the financial backing to do that. But it's bad to do that when you have no money saved up. Then you go into debt for something that doesn't make you money. And so then now you're in like a negative spiral. So for me, I see it as like a business opportunity growing on social media, capitalizing on this, you know, thing that I've built, right? I've been doing this for 4 years. So it's not like this is my first year of doing content. And then on top of that, like I'm willing to take that risk because worst case scenario, like I move back in with my parents. So I have very low financial responsibility outside of paying off this debt that I've gone into for the marathons. I don't even want to say the number because like, I'm gonna wait to say the number till after I do all 50 and then
Say the number.
say
Say
this.
the number.
If I'd say the number, I have to like describe the reason why I think it made sense.
Okay, we got time.
Okay. Um, Back in December of 2023, end of the year, I have this idea in mind of running a marathon in all 50 states. And I'm like, I'm a Christian, right? I have a strong relationship with God. That's how I make decisions. I'm like, Lord, is this the plan that you have for my life? Because if it is, like, I want to do this challenge, If it is, open the door. And then just a couple things happened with woodworking that like would have given me money to pay for it, but instead I put that money towards like I if I tell the whole story, it's like so many details. I bought a ton of wood that is now worth more money with the money that I would have spent on the marathons. And then now I had no money in my bank account because I spent every dime from the tables that I made to buy that wood that appreciated in value that I'm now selling. So then that was about the time that I asked, like, Lord, open the door. And then Wells Fargo sent me this 0% APR loan for 22 months. So I have until August of
sick.
2025 to pay off this loan that I've taken for $12,000. And so that's what got me through the first 5.5 months. And so, like, I think the video started getting interesting around that time as well, because that's when I realized if I don't start posting videos now, there's never an opportunity to make this a business, And so, like, if I'm going to spend money on something that doesn't make money, then I'm just wasting it. Like, I need to actually follow through by posting the videos on the places where I'm spending the money. And so there's been a million things that have happened since then. A cool God thing though is like, I'm running out of money right before the Omaha Marathon, and like if I don't do something to make money, then it's been too long. It's been like, I think at that point it was like 12 weekends in a row where I, was buying flights last minute. I was like, I can't do this the rest of the year. It's too expensive. And so then, I was like, all right, Lord, like it's Thursday. Um, I know you'll provide. And I was like, I'm just going to go to Omaha this weekend. If I have to sleep in a cornfield, I'll just wear the overalls, make a video, and that's it. Like, this is the last marathon of the challenge. That Friday, before, like, the day I was flying out, I made a sale for the wood that I bought from the money from the tables that I would have spent on the marathons and instead used the loan to pay for the marathons. I had $10,000 from the tables to buy that wood. And then just from that sale alone, I made $5,000. That day. I got 50% up front, 50% down the road. And like that was enough to keep me going for the next couple of months. I bought a couple flights, kept me in the challenge. And all this happened like if I would have spent that $10,000 I got from the tables back in December on the marathons, I never would have been able to do it this year. But because I was like, all right, like, Lord, if this is your path for my life, then I'm just gonna, blindly walk for whatever decision comes available. And like, I take the loan, use that to pay for the marathons, buy this wood, have no idea because I've never done it before. And here we are, number 35, about to run out of money, and I have just enough to keep going for the next couple of months. And so now I still have 60, 70% of the wood in my garage. And so like, I still have money to pay off the rest of this debt. So for me, going into debt, going into debt for this challenge, it was almost like an equity backed loan. Like I have this asset, let's say the wood in my garage that's appreciating in value. And so when it sells, I know that I'll be able to pay off this debt that I've gone into. And so the debt is like capitalizing on like a time opportunity with the marathons being a trend, while the asset is appreciating value because it takes a full year for the wood to dry. So I'm basically doing like a whole real estate thing, except with wood.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Guys, let's take the Life and Stride bank account money. Let's just buy wood.
Yeah.
I
Wood
would.
market is going through the roof right now.
Is it?
But it's good though because I'm a carpenter, right? So like worst case scenario, I need to pay off this money by August of 2025. Well, I make a series next year. Hey, I'm building a table for all 50 states, and I have all the wood in my garage. Here, let me explain the whole process because I've done it from the beginning. This is why I did it, X, Y, and Z. Like there's a whole story, and so I have all the confidence in the world. And part of me wants to do that instead of just sell the wood because my goal is to teach people that anything is possible. Like you can work your way into whatever you want to build with your life, whatever vision that you have. It just requires you to be bold. You got to have a bold vision that requires more out of you. You take a step 1 week at a time, and then eventually you've run a marathon in 49 states in
Yeah.
1 year.
Dude, we've talked about this a lot on this podcast. Like, I'm like the biggest advocate that anybody can be successful in whatever you want to do. Like, I think that anybody, like, I could go into a career that I know nothing about, and I could surpass everybody in that career if I like wanted it more than anyone. And
Yeah.
I literally like just that's all I did. That's all I focused on. Like, now I would prefer people do it in like and keep their priorities in line, right? Like,
Yeah.
don't lose your family over it, don't lose your kids over it and stuff. But like, you're the perfect example of like you took it wasn't a huge risk, but it was a risk, a really big risk for you. I mean, taking a loan out with like basically not a ton of equity to back it up. I mean, you bought the wood, but like,
With no plan of how to pay it off. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, and then you start running marathons and stuff, but and doing this challenge, but like it's just so cool to see this come into fruition and then the end come. I mean, dude, you could pay that off with some sponsors if you wanted it. I mean, we all know you could, but
Well, so I think that's the lesson I'm learning this season is like my prayer has been, Lord, teach me to rely on you. And so let's say I didn't, like, let's say I was using sponsors to pay for the series. Well, then I'm not strengthening that relationship with God. To me, that's what means the most in my life because that's how I've made every decision going back to the 50 States Chipotle series that I did in 2021.
yeah,
That only happened because I sat down on a Thursday and I was like, all right, Lord, like, if this is your will, bless this video that I'm about to put out with like us reaching out to 50 different sponsors. And 2 days later, it had 100,000 views. And Racetrack, the gas station that was based in Atlanta, that I thought was just like a nationwide, chain. They were just based in Atlanta, and it was only for the Southeast. Reaches out, sponsored the series, and got us to go on that first one, which ultimately got us the Chipotle sponsorship because we never would have done the trip without their sponsorship. That's what means the most to me is like, all right, blind faith, because there's no way I've done any of this. I want a challenge so big that it has to be God.
dude,
Yeah.
and like, what a testament because there's so many times in the past year that like it should not have been possible.
Yes.
No, not at all.
Like
Not possible at all.
like the New York thing,
Yeah.
dude. You were cooked. Like you were like it was Wednesday on the biggest marathon in the world or in the United States. And
Well,
you
no,
didn't
in the
have a
world.
bib.
In the world, 56.5 or something like that. Like the
Yeah.
new official,
I think it did surpass it. Yeah.
like the most security for any retail sporting event across all different fields. The most difficult marathon to get into all the different layers. Like they also have so much pride in this marathon that they're not just going to give some random person, an entry in at the last minute. I think it's like they love the story that I had, and then as well, they wanted to celebrate the fact that I was helping get inspired runners of all different types. That was the
Yeah.
idea. Is like, but yeah, just getting that story into the right hands. That way, they could see, hey, there's there's a reason why we should let this guy run this race this weekend.
What else would you say to somebody like going like who has an idea in their head like this?
Yeah.
What would you say to somebody other than just be bold? Like if somebody's like your age, not married, no kids, and they're like just scared. Like I mean, it's
Yeah.
scary to do what you did is terrifying to most. What would you say to that person?
I mean, like logically, I don't know, because like the only confidence I have is that this is what God wants me to do with my life. So then it's like the only piece of advice I would give them is like take a look at your faith. If you're not a Christian, then maybe this is time to pop the question. It's like, are you real? Are you real, God? Go down one knee or go on both, right? Because like that's the only reason. Whatever heights I achieve in my life, all of it goes back to God. And so then like that's where I would start. And then as well, I'd say like mental clarity is super important to make these decisions because you have to know, like when you pull the trigger on these decisions, you have to know that this is exactly what I want to do. I can't back out. When I posted the video when I was in Houston, it was about a week later. Like, all right, when I post this video, I'm committing to running a marathon in all 50 states. All my friends are going to see it. I don't care that I have, at that time I had like 1,200, 1,500 followers. Like, it's all my friends from high school and camp and all these different places. It's like when I press post, they're going to see it and I have to commit. So then I have to have the full confidence in myself that even if it takes 5 years, I'm going to follow through on this challenge. And so what I would say there is I had the mental clarity. I spent 3 months recording videos of myself and I have them all up. It's called Wyatt Moss Daily Thoughts, just my ideas that I have every single day. And I have like hours of me talking with myself that I played back at least 10 times each for all the different videos. That way I could try to understand what is my position in life right now, what I want to do with my life. There's one video, number 50, that I absolutely love. It was just 8 to 10 minutes of questions that I asked myself. It's like, am I willing to sacrifice my bad habits and wrong ideas in pursuit of this dream? And stuff like that, where it's just like, the questions are kind of difficult to answer, but you just ask the question and then you kind of gain a little bit more clarity just in the act of asking. But I think so many people just don't spend enough time thinking about, and it's a bad thing to spend all of your time thinking. You need to take action at some point. But you pair like the daily action of me running a mile every single day with, every 2 to 3 days of me reflecting on my personal experience. And then now I'm developing that story from my life. That way I can play it back. Literally, I can play it back, the YouTube videos that I posted, and understand like, okay, who is Wyatt Moss? That way I have the confidence to go out there and take on these dreams. And then one of the questions is, how soon can I achieve the dream so I have the confidence to dream even bigger? Well, here we are, number 49. Like last year, this was impossible. And here we are. It's been done. So now I have the confidence to dream even bigger. All of us have the potential to go out there and do whatever it is that we set our mind on. And so all it takes is just the confidence to go out there and get started, to be bold. And that's really it.
I think a lesson learned is something that it's something I've heard on like before on another podcast. I don't know where I heard this, but this is definitely like reminding me this conversation right now of this lesson that I've taken away. And I think other people can take things away from it too. But it's when you have a big, hairy, audacious goal, like running 50 states in marathons in 1 year, it's like you don't really know, like where Z is, right? Z is Hawaii. It's number 50. And you need to get from A to Z. But right now, Z doesn't even matter. So forget about Z. How do you get to step B? Right? So it's you're driving home on a long journey in the dark, and all you can see is what the headlights show right in front of you. You can't see Z, right? You can't see point Z. All you see is right in front of you, and that's all you really need to get one step closer to your final goal.
I like that a lot because people ask me like, how do you run a marathon in a Santa costume, like I did earlier today, and I just look at them and I say, one step at a time, and they just die laughing every time because it's like, yeah, of course, like one step at a time, but it really is what's right in front of you. You don't have to know the end. You don't have to see what the course looks like. You don't even have to show up with a plan of what to do. If you do one step at a time, there's a quote from Jesse Itzler from his friend who taught him, or who paced him for his first 100-miler. He's like, Jesse, we're gonna get through this 100-miler as long as we do one step at a time, or along those exact lines. It's like, oh no, as long as we don't give pain a voice. If we keep moving forward, we will finish this ultra marathon. But I don't know, kind of the same route of like, what's right in front of you. Take action. What's right in front of you. Don't think about whatever is to come. Don't let fear or pain stop you from doing what matters. What's right here.
And now, sorry, keep going. Keep that thought.
Oh, I was just gonna ask, how much inspiration have you drawn from Jesse Itzler?
He's awesome. A lot. He's in Atlanta. I think one of the best compliments I've gotten this year is that someone told me, I hadn't told them that I watched Jesse's videos. They're like, you remind me of Jesse Itzler. Do you know who he is? And I was like, yeah, that's cool. Like, there we go. That's going in the compliment journal. Because I was like, yeah, I want to be the scrappy founder who becomes something great just because he's bold.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that comparison for sure. Just how you guys speak. Yeah, I can see the trajectory of your life going a very similar direction as his. I feel like, you know, at your age, he was kind of at a very similar. He wasn't doing what you're doing, but you know, I think you guys have a lot of similarities for sure. So
Taking big swings for sure.
yeah. Thank you, Danny.
You should
Thank you for
call
speaking
David
life.
Goggins. Call David Goggins and see if he'll come live with you for a month.
I've got his personal cell. Should I give him a call real quick? Hey, if Goggins, if you ever want to do a training camp and you want someone to rock your world, give me an invite because I will be there and you'll never see anyone like me out there. I won't stop.
Good.
Did Damian Lillard, the basketball player, did a training camp with David Goggins in the offseason? I don't know if any of you saw this. It was like
Yeah.
comical, dude. He was
I saw him on the Stairmaster, dude, just going for hours.
Just dead.
dude, he put Damian Lillard in the dirt, bro. It was crazy.
Dude, he did that with that MMA fighter too. I don't know who it was, but he
Yeah.
like
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
I'm pretty sure he lost that fight too. He
Yeah.
did. He did. Like, the guy lost the fight.
He was still in recovery. I mean,
Yeah.
All right. Well, because obviously we need to talk Philly, we need to talk New York, we need to talk Hawaii. Scotty, is this a good time to do rapids before we hit some of those races?
It's always a good time. I
it's always a good time.
ripped some of these cues with my brother, and honestly, I have my weirdest question I've ever asked anybody, and it's coming here, and I figured you would be the guy for it.
Scotty, pop the question.
Dude, all right, we're just gonna start here. What is your favorite flavor of ice cream?
I would say Talenti raspberry.
Wow, that's so specific. I love you for that.
Gelato.
It's delicious.
Fire. Yeah.
Do you think
gelato.
Okay, first of all, I think this is my weirdest set of questions. I'll put that there. And I don't know. I've gotten to know you pretty well. You stay with me in Indy. We talk a lot. So I just figured you're the guy for this.
Scotty, you've always had a nice set on you.
Yeah, thanks. Appreciate it.
Scotty's magnum opus.
Do you think you breathe more or blink more?
I would say breathe more. I'm staring.
Do you think there are more blades of grass or more gallons of water on the earth?
Gallons of water.
Are there more wheels or doors on earth?
I would say doors.
Think harder.
Think bigger.
Think harder.
Look at all the real estate that exists.
Brother, every drawer you open has wheels on it, bro.
But every drawer is technically a door.
Is it though?
Oh,
A
this is
controversial.
drawer is a drawer. A door is a door. A door
All right,
opens.
Keep firing.
All right. Would you rather paint all the walls in your house bright pink or black?
I would say both, but probably black over bright pink.
Sweatpants or jorts?
Shorts.
No. Wrong question. Sweatpants or shorts?
Shorts.
Jeans or jorts?
Shorts. I'm the shorts guy.
I know you are.
I'm the
Would
50 States guy.
would you rather bear crawl a marathon or run a marathon hopping with your feet tied together?
Oh, definitely bear crawl. Hopping is bad because like there's so much stress on your ankles. My ankles are not strong. That's my weak spot of my entire body.
Dino costume or overalls?
Dino costume was so bad because it was tight around my Achilles, and yet again, weak spot. It hurt so I had to walk the last 6 miles. I ate Chipotle during the marathon. So
I
overalls,
remember that.
overalls
I
were
called
great.
you, bro. I FaceTimed you while you were eating Chipotle. What will you be dressed as for 2025 Halloween?
Ooh, I don't know if I'll even
And wait, what?
I don't even know if I'll celebrate it.
I mean, I don't. Okay, I don't really celebrate Halloween either. But do you ever dress up?
Well, if I do a costume, it'll be decided like 2 days in advance,
I was gonna say I want you to decide a costume now,
and
and
then
then
we
you
do.
have to stick to it because that's the Wyatt Moss way.
Um, what would be funny, Danny?
A llama.
Yeah, we're in. I love it.
All right, don't forget this. You're doing a llama that's a long way away, but what are you most looking forward to in 2025? One thing, most looking forward to.
Creative freedom. I want to be able to create. Like I have so many ideas that I haven't acted on, and the change that I made this year, I used to be the idea guy. Now I'm the action taker, and so then now I want to take action on those ideas that I have because I've got a bank.
I love you, Wyatt. Would you rather chop wood with an axe for an entire day, or paint a wall with your hand instead of a paintbrush for a
Uh,
day?
Chop wood. On top of being the 50 States guy and the shorts guy, I'm the wood guy. You need
You are
wood?
the wood guy.
Come this way.
Salsa or queso?
Salsa. Chips and salsa is the greatest hydrating snack of all time. We used to do that at camp. It'd be like 11 o'clock, put the campers to bed, go outside, entire bag of Tostitos scoops, and one of those big medium salsa containers. And it was cold. Oh, just perfect on a summer night after you're exhausted at a summer camp,
I
getting paid
want
minimum
that.
wage.
I want that right now. I am a salsa fiend, bro.
Check your front door.
Ooh, Santa delivers.
Yeah, I wish
Wait,
that'd be
what?
awesome if we somehow got it there.
What is your biggest fear?
Um, that I would be blinded to my mistakes.
Oof.
Whoa.
Okay.
All
All right.
That just torched Scotty.
No. It's the next question that's torching me. I don't want to read it.
It's rarely happens that Scotty is speechless, and that answer left Scotty speechless.
No, it didn't. It didn't. That was a really, really good answer, but I completely distracted myself by reading the question that I wrote.
Far away.
Okay. If you were a cat and I were petting you right now,
Oh gosh.
what sound would you make?
Burr. That's the best cat burr I can make.
All right.
Right.
Build
We couldn't ask that to
your.
every guest.
What'd you say?
We couldn't ask that to every guest we have.
No.
Yeah.
I've been wanting to ask some weird questions, but I had to get it out on you. It's better than I asked Eric Floberg to bark like a dog, and his kids were asleep.
Oh my god.
That might be hands down like the most embarrassing moment we've had on this podcast.
Name drop. Name drop.
Build your perfect pizza. The only reason I'm asking this, I asked it last time to Jess Leventree. Love her. She's great and a beast.
Another name drop.
But she said a cheese pizza, and I was really looking for more. Okay, I want you to build it from the bottom up. Crust, sauce, toppings, cheese, and I'm talking like you haven't eaten in 3 days.
Well, I was sitting in a room with my friend Matt McConaughey, and he was telling me name drop Sky's looking at me like, what?
No, you weren't.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Oh, okay.
Um, build a pizza from the bottom up. I mean, my favorite pizza that I eat down the road, it's like a white pizza that has it's just like cheese, olive oil, and then ricotta cheese on top of the cheese. What I would do is add chicken on top of that, and then put that on top of a deep dish pizza. Like that mixture, maybe with the crust too, but make a flatbread with all that, the white pizza, and then put it on a deep dish Chicago style, and then eat
Wow.
that. Like that would be so sick.
That's crazy, bro.
Yeah, throw some spinach and artichoke dip.
Now I'm speechless.
Yeah,
I love pizza.
I
And
love.
when we do Life in Stride training camp, more to come.
Oh,
Where the food is going to be a highlight.
it's gonna be good.
It's gonna be something. Anyways, how many shoes have you worn for the 50 States Marathon Challenge in 2024?
It's been like 3.
That's not good.
This pair is my 3rd pair of shoes that I've worn for the year.
Wait, those are new.
Those are new.
Yeah, 12 marathons ago.
Oh,
Actually,
Are
no.
those the John Lindis still?
Yes.
And you must have put them through the washer or something because they were black. They were white shoes, but they were black last time I saw them.
Yeah. I threw them in the washer. They have some clay on them from today. I can show you. Hold up. How do I flip this camera?
Just
gonna-
turn your camera around, brother.
Oh, yeah.
oh yeah.
Oh yeah, because you ran a trail marathon today, Bubs.
Yeah.
Just casually.
Confirmed to our listeners. Wyatt has dirt on his shoes.
Yeah.
All right. Last question.
Far away.
In our first episode, I asked you, why do you run? In this episode, I'm going to ask you this question. Why did you do the 50 States Marathon Challenge? And what is your goal after this? Like, you have this following. What are you going to do with it? Elaborate.
Great
please.
question.
Why did I do the 50 States Marathon Challenge? I needed a goal so big it changed me to the core. Like I just was not where I needed to be. And so I needed something that required the best out of me every single week in the thing that I wanted to do most. It was, the running aspect of it made me disciplined. The marathon aspect of it was an achievement. It was like a incredible story. But then posting the videos on social media with like the costumes and the ribs and everything like that, that was like the dream that I've always had, is I want to be a content creator. And so why did I take that on? I just had the idea last year because my buddy and I started running. And I didn't tell you all this story, I don't think. Back in September of last year, my buddy Tyler, he's like a brother to me. He and I have like had this journey the past 2 years of just calling and sharing these ideas and really building out the confidence or like the vision for our life and everything like that. And for his 23rd birthday, we went to Los Angeles. Sorry, 22nd birthday. Went to Los Angeles for a Coldplay concert. And that's why like Adventure of a Lifetime is, a really impactful song. If you saw the video I posted after the one in Colorado, we should talk about Boulder when we talk about the other ones.
Oh yes.
On the flight back from that concert, I was in pain for 4 hours straight. The most pain I've ever been in my entire life, hands down. I was crying so bad that the flight attendant put me at the back of the plane and almost asked them to land early. She was like, "Holy cow, this is very bad." And the whole time I was just thinking to myself, as I was like bawling tears with the worst migraine I've ever had because the pressure change and everything just messed up my nose. I just kept saying, "I'm sorry." I was just apologizing, like whoever it was, myself, my wife, God, my wife in the future. I'm not married. I was just
like, whoa, breaking news.
yeah.
Wyatt has eloped.
But I was just apologizing. I'm sorry. And to me, it was like, all right, these are all the mistakes I've made and all of the ways that I've failed to live up to the potential that I have. Coming out as the pain that I'm experiencing right now, as a way for my body to tell me, if you don't change right now, the rest of your life is going to slip out from underneath you, and you will never accomplish this dream that you have. And so then, for me, like, it was the most intense pain ever, and it was like, I don't want to ever feel that again. I have to go do something. So we started doing the daily mile like a week after we got back from that trip. October 9th is when I started, at least a mile every single day. And then from there, because I was running and marathons were trending, I was like, I should run a marathon every week for a month. No, I should run one every month for a year. I was like, well, if I'm going to do 12, I might as well go for all 50 states. Is it possible to run a marathon in every state in a year? And then from there, I established a schedule over the course of a weekend. It was logistically possible, barely, but I was like, is it physically possible? And then that's where I did the mile a day, or sorry, 1 more mile challenge for December. Every day of the month, I added 1 more mile, and I got up to day 17, my 22nd birthday. That week, I ran 98 miles. So 15 for December 15th, 16 for December 16th, 17 for December 17th. And so that gave me the confidence with this massive vision, and then the impulse from the experience flying back from that concert. All those things together pushed me to run the marathon in all 50 states this year. And that's why I did it. And it changed my life. And then what am I going to do for next year? I don't know. Because I have an idea in mind, and I think it's a great one. I think this will like be something that people absolutely love. It involves dating and all 50 states. That's all I can say.
What?
Yep.
Wyatt, the first thing you
What?
said when you answered that question was you wanted a challenge that would change you to the core. What are some of those changes that you've seen in yourself?
Well, the running has a great question, by the way. The running has made me more disciplined, and so then I can actually follow through on the ideas that I have for myself. And that's a huge thing, is that most people develop a vision for their life without ever having the intention of actually achieving it. So they come up with this massive vision, but they don't have the discipline to stay on top of the daily task of achieving that vision. They don't actually see it through to the end. So then, like, the running has allowed me to have that discipline to stay on top of the rest of my life. So physically, I'm in control of my body. Mentally, I can be in control of all the tasks that I have. So that's one big change. Another one is that, like, it frees up your mind. When you have time to think while you're running, it's very valuable time, because nowadays we don't really have empty time anymore. There's always something to fill the void. So if you want to process all the things that are going through your mind, you need that silence. I heard a story literally yesterday about, like, just from a TikTok, of course, about uh, Bill Gates and how he was driving someone to the airport, and they're asking him, why don't you have your radio in your car? And he's like, well, I'm afraid if I have the radio in my car, then I'm going to turn it on and stop thinking about Microsoft. So I've removed every possible way to distract myself from the one thing that matters. And so then for me, the running gives me that time to think and process, because it's a heavy weight to carry, like running a marathon every single week, just that responsibility, all the things that come with it, the life change. But when you have that time while you're running to process the mind, that changes everything. And then that coupled with the daily thoughts, where I collect my thoughts while I'm running. I speak them out when I'm doing the daily thoughts. Now I'm ordering my brain so that I can actually function. I can think through these ideas, follow through on the things that I have in mind for myself. And so those two things are massive. And then on top of that, like, when you start going towards a vision and, actually start achieving it, and you make it public, that way people see your success, but they also see your failures. That's when you have the impact that you're looking for, because then it's genuine. People, follow suit. They see all the mistakes that you make, and they're like, wow, like, this is a real series. So that side of the challenge has been really interesting, because, like, by taking on this challenge, it changed me into the core. And then I'm sharing the ways that it's changed me. So, like, the lessons I'm learning, or the habits that I built, then it has this chain reaction. And so, kind of to backpack on that question, is like, how has it changed me? Well, what all has changed? People have started reaching out over DMs. I've had like at least 1,000 people DM me and say, "This, what you're doing is super inspiring. It has inspired me to go out there and do the same thing for my own life." And that is something, that one message from one person, I can never ask for anything more in my life. So to do that with thousands of people potentially in my life, like, that's what I'm striving for. Everyone's after, like, having a financial impact. I want to be worth X million dollars. I want to have impact. And then when you set your life up for impact, everything else follows. So I'm not that, like y'all were saying earlier, if I really wanted to, I could pay off this debt with sponsors. I know that.
Yeah.
I want to prove it to people that they can do the same thing by themselves. They can pay for their own challenge. They can, whatever it is, they can pull it off. Because that's how I achieve impact. anyone can achieve results, achievements, but fulfillment comes from impact. And that's how I become fulfilled.
So from a 10,000-foot view, it sounds to me like you're saying, and feel free to add anything in here, Wyatt, or edit. But you set out on the 50 states challenge to prove to yourself that you had the discipline, the follow through, and you could accrue those tiny habits into something bigger so that you could share it with the world. And along the way, what's changed is that you're stacking up proof for yourself so that you can be who you were meant to be in this life.
Yeah. Wait, sorry, is it a question or is it a statement?
Statement.
Yeah, because I like that thought a lot. The mountain of confidence is what I call it. Because I saw a video from David Goggins, and then I put out a video that I've watched back so many times about the story that you tell yourself. It's built from those moments of confidence. And so, what were those moments of confidence for me? Well, just getting started running, that was one. Or, running my first marathon at the start of last year, that was another. And all these little pieces of confidence kind of started adding up. So then I took on a bigger thing, running 98 miles in a week back in December. And so all these semi big ones, like that's the mountain of confidence that gives me the confidence to take on the 50 states challenge. And so then like your story is like a mountain range. As you add those little pebbles every single day, or stones over time, or like even big boulders that make up this mountain, let's say, then it over time you build this mountain range, and it gives you all the confidence to take on even bigger heights. So you travel up the mountain every single time. And maybe it's a mountain range, maybe it's just one mountain. But every time you go up and then you add heights to it, you're able to see the next mountain or whatever it looks like. Like that whole metaphor, I absolutely love. And so then, like, that's how I've been living my life, is that this is adding to the mountain of confidence. How soon can I achieve the dream so I have the confidence to dream even bigger?
Speaking of mountain, the Hawaii Marathon is a mountain.
Yes.
And I'm not going to be the one. I don't know if you're putting this out there, what you're going to do for Hawaii. If you want to say it, you can after what I'm about to say. But I don't think that Wyatt Moss, I think like social media, people that have social media presences, all of them have haters, right? I don't think Wyatt Moss has haters. I think you have doubters, a couple of them. And you have proved doubters wrong, 49 times, more or less, maybe like 20 times. But I share your story a decent amount, like just like your mindset and stuff to some people.
Thank you.
And yeah, for sure. Like even people like my dad and stuff. He doesn't doubt, but he's not a risk taker. And he's kind of instilled that in me a bit. I'm like halfway my mom, halfway my dad. But I tell people, like, some people know that Hawaii is your last one. Some people that know me, that I've talked to you or talked to them about you and what you're going to do. And they're like, that's impossible. And
Yeah.
I tell them, like, there's always a way, dude. Wyatt's figured it out 49 times. He'll figure it out this time, man. If you're comfortable with sharing, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
And
So
have you, this is Z on on what Danny was talking about. Like, Z is here. You're
Yeah.
not at M or N anymore or B. You're at Z. Or
So
J.
the idea I've had in mind that Scotty is alluding to, I want to push my grandma, who's been to 49 states and has never been to Hawaii, in the marathon for Hawaii for number 50, so that we can both cross the finish line and get our 50th state at the same time. The difficult part is that the Honolulu Marathon only allows the 10K runners to do strollers. And I haven't reached out to them yet because a whole host of things, one of them being that number 48 last week, I didn't even have a race bib. So like there's always all these problems that I faced throughout the year that have prevented me from doing this one thing where it's like, man, this would be absolutely life-changing. Now, I'm pretty confident that they're going to hear the story and be like, it's just not feasible, but if you want to try, we'll let you. And so I think I'm going to go for it, because even though there's hills, we'll still find a way. Like if I have to walk up them with Nana, that's fine. If it takes me 5 hours, it's not the time, it's the distance. And we're going to run the distance for the 50th time of 2024 with Nana.
Let's go. Wyatt, I absolutely love the energy, and it's something so poetic that Nana has only been to 49 states, and it just so happens that
Number
Hawaii is
50.
your 50th state together. I have to ask the question though about logistics.
Yeah.
Is Nana going to be comfortable in a wheelchair for 5 hours just chilling? Like,
Yeah.
how can we make sure Nana's okay? I'm concerned about Nana, Wyatt.
That's also like that's been the main hesitation for me to even ask Hawaii if I can, or Honolulu Marathon if I can push her, is that like it's so difficult to commit to this in the first place, then to share it with Nana and get her hopes up, and then to like me not be able to follow through for whatever reason, that I haven't even asked her yet if that's something that she would want to do. So I think the final decision would come down to like, hey Nana, look, this is the idea I have in mind. She knows that like I'm doing the 50 states. Because I've been telling her all along the way. I have voice memos recorded, which is awesome because I get to play them back and like, in the future, it'll be in the documentary that I'm making of the 50 states challenge. So that'll be a really fun memory. But she doesn't know that I've been posting these videos on social media. I've told her that I've gotten on the news, but she doesn't know like the scale of it. So she has no idea that like, the other thing that I might be worried about is that she might get overwhelmed by people calling out, Nana at the race, like, Nana, congratulations, like everything like that. So, or just everyone cheering. There's on top of the heat and her staying in the wheelchair for a couple hours, there's also the excitement of the race itself. So what might end up happening is I'll push her in the final mile. That way, we can still finish the race together. And so I think that's a lot more feasible with like the heat, so she can stay inside, and then the excitement isn't too much, or like the discomfort is not there because it's only for a mile. So I'm thinking that that's going to be the best option because once again, Nana's health is better than, or more important than any, social media views that I could get from this. So like that takes paramount importance over any video is
Yeah.
Nana's health.
This is the types of things that people have said to me, like, quote, doubters, or like that,
Yeah.
like, the heat, the hills, the comfort of Nana, her health. And I'm like, Wyatt is not like, one, he's a very intelligent person. And one, he has a
Thank you.
lot of like empathy for other people, and he cares for people a lot. Like, he's not just going to be like, Nana, I'm strapping you in with some ratchet straps. Here's some water and here's some ketone IQ, and let's freaking go.
Your source for marathon fuel. And do like an ad reel.
Yeah, she's like, "What's this, honey?" You're like, "Don't worry about it. Just rip it, Nana."
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
I mean, I figured you have thought through it a little bit, or maybe a lot of it, but
Yeah. Well, actually, like, I'm not gonna lie, I haven't. So, and something like this is pretty big. And so, to be a week away from probably the most important moment for Nana and I together, and a promise, or I guess like a idea that I've put out there on social, like I definitely should have put more thought into this. I don't even have a stroller figured out, so like there's that aspect of it as well. So I don't know. When we get off this call, I fly to Los Angeles tonight. I'm staying with some buddies for the next 3 days. That's when I'll be contacting everyone at Honolulu Marathon to see if that's possible. And then as well, we got to get Nana out there. So mom and my stepdad David are taking Nana to the start line, or like to Hawaii. And so once she's out, then I can ask the question like, "Hey Nana, we've gone around for a day or two. Like, here's the idea. I'm running the marathon. Do you want to do the whole thing with me?" And then even then, there has to be the question of like, all right, we need a backup plan, we need a car, we need ice, a fan, all these different things ready to go. So, but once again, like we've done it before, we can do it again. Last minute planning is where I excel. So might as well like wait till the last minute. That way I can do the best for Nana. You see what I mean?
I
It all
guess.
works out.
dude, like, I'm not gonna lie, like, it sounds like it's not gonna happen, but I know it's gonna happen, Wyatt. I know it's gonna, like, in some way or fashion, like, you're gonna finish. You're gonna at least have your Nana across this finish line on this marathon. Like, if anybody can do it, you can. Like,
Thank you,
I'm not
Scotty.
sure I could, and I'm a pretty capable person, but like, if you gave me a week, like, I don't know if I could do that.
You gave me the greatest compliment, by the way, and I want to just circle back to this. If anyone ever asks me like, "Hey, how can I help?" They're asking it like, "Hey, can I drive you to the start line? Can I, get you some food or whatever it is?" My response to them is like, "You can share the name of Wyatt Moss well. You can share the story of Wyatt Moss well, and you've done that, Scotty. You said you've shared it with like at least 20 people, and that's
More than
incredible."
that, but
Okay, thank you so much for like that's the greatest thing anyone could do because it means that like I've taken on a goal because last year, wildly different person, none of this was here, right? I gotta humble myself. Last year was terrible. I did nothing. I basically sat around all the time. I made a huge change and like here we are. And now the biggest compliment in the world is for someone to share the story that I've taken on because that means that for at least this year, I've done something that's worth sharing. And
yeah,
that's anything anyone could ever want. A successful product spreads through word of mouth. And so like if my story is the product, then you sharing it is the greatest marketing that I could have. So
Yeah.
thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah.
Shout out, Scotty.
Shout out Scotty.
And honestly, like this podcast that we started on nearly a year ago, I mean, some of the relationships we've made, like people like you, like we went into this knowing nothing. We didn't know how to do.
We didn't know
Anything.
anybody either that we've
We
had.
didn't
Yeah.
know anybody. We literally had
See-
like a couple connections, like Jacob Thompson through
But you
Street.
carry such an incredible presence, all three of y'all.
Yeah.
Like you walk into a marathon, that's life in stride. My friend from Run Club, we're running. She's like, "Oh my gosh, you were on Life in Stride last week?" And I was like, "Yeah, I was. Yeah, I was. Like, come on, let's go."
She knew
It's
she
just
was our pod.
yes, because you carry a presence. Like you
That's
have a
cool.
conviction. All three of y'all have a conviction in your voice. And Cheston, love you,
Yeah.
Cheston.
Shout out, Justin.
Shout out, Cheston.
Justin started this bad boy with us, and if you've been
Yeah.
here till now, you know why he's not here now. But
He's
Yeah.
still alive. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Sounds
sorry,
bad.
I left that on a cliffhanger. I was just
We saw
Where
him
it went.
yesterday.
He just
Put in
has
14 miles together.
has
Justin
priorities
is
like a
thriving.
family and children. Like,
Yeah.
what? Come on, man.
Dude, Wyatt,
Yes.
I wanna paint a picture. So I'm running with Scotty at 5:45 a.m. in the dark from Cheston's house, the week of the Philadelphia Marathon, and Scotty gets on a phone call with you, and you're freaking out because you're not into the Philadelphia Marathon yet, and so I wanna ask what happened to get into the marathon, and then why were you so emotional when you finished the race? Because you were crying in your video, so clearly
Yeah.
an emotional point of this.
Allegedly, I had to sacrifice a child. No, I'm kidding.
Whoa.
Allegedly is a heavily used word on this podcast. Be careful.
No, I'm totally kidding. A week before, I guess during New York City, I knew I didn't have a bib for Philly. And so then I was like asking around at the after party of New York City because I was like, is it possible to get in? I didn't even ask around. Like, we were just talking, and then someone was like, "Hey, we have endorphins. We have an endorphins run club in Philly. Like, are you running Philly this year?" And I was like, I am, but I don't have a bib. They're like, "So you're not?" And I was like, "No, I am. I just don't have a bib."
No, you're
And-
not.
No, you're not. And same situation with New York City. It's like Philly is run by the city of New York or Philadelphia, and they're very particular to not do anything last minute. Like it's all process. You have to stick by the book. And so every single person all the people I was talking with said the exact same thing. There's no way you are running the Philadelphia Marathon. I reached out to the social media page as well, like on Instagram, sent them a DM, and it's like, we are sorry, but you cannot run this race. Like we can't let you in last minute. And so I really thought that I was out for the count. And then I put out the video like I always do, and I was like, I made like a note to make sure that people knew that I hate making videos like that. Like, hey, here I am last minute. I didn't follow through on the promise that I made to y'all because I didn't have the money to pay for the race bib. I didn't even talk about that in the video. I just said I wasn't able to sign up in time, and I don't have a bib, and so I'm not going to race. And so then I think when I was like candid about it and just sharing like, hey, I made a mistake. That's when one of the sponsors of the race, when they saw that video, they're like, he's not just asking this question so that he can run another marathon and get this personal achievement done. It's way more than just a challenge now. Like this is a story which is like, I love saying this, but I want to say it with all the humility in the world. So like, if y'all don't agree, then speak now or forever hold your peace. But that, I don't know. I think that's why Dietz and Watson, which was one of the sponsors of the marathon, reached out and they're like, "Hey, we've seen that this is starting to catch on. Like, we want you to continue your challenge." And so, we have an extra bib. I asked them. They sponsored the half marathon in Philly. I was like, "Hey, can I run the half marathon in a hot dog costume the day before?" Because I wanted to do their event. They're like, "No, we don't have any bibs left." I was like, "Wait, what?" So they had a full marathon bib, but they didn't have a half marathon bib, and so I ran the full in the hot dog costume, and yeah, that's how that all went down. Why was I so emotional? I think a lot of things go through your mind when you work the whole year for this thing, and then like something so stupid as like not having enough money to pay for the bib over the summer gets in the way, and then of course like it's the Philadelphia Marathon, which is still really big, but it's not like New York City, it's not Chicago, it's not a world major. So to not be able to get in is kind of like not a slap in the face, but it's almost like I didn't expect this from this race. Then to be able to get in, and then like just walking the streets, people knew who I was. That was a change up from New York City, and all the videos kind of gaining traction recently. The story catching on, people reaching out, and then I posted a story the day before. I was like, what should I do? Because I didn't have a bib till Friday night. So Friday morning, I posted like, what should I do on my story? I had 500 individual people reach out over DMs from that one story and say like, hey, what are you gonna do? Like, what's happening? X, Y, and Z. Like, or giving me ideas like, oh, you should run the half. You should do this. And so that was crazy. Then running the race in the hot dog costume, I said in the video around 200 people recognize me. It was probably around like 100 to be like pretty solid on that number, and then around 100 that just saw the hot dog costume and were like just yelling at the hot dog. And maybe it was 200 people calling out over the course of the race. So let's say that individual people that called out twice, it was only 100 total. Whatever it was, it's like a large amount of people yelled something about the hot dog or me doing the 50 stage challenge. And that was all the encouragement in the world to run a fast time. And so I did a 3:23, and then walking away from the marathon after, just everything that happened to get me to that spot, as well, like all the weight of the challenge, and then 3 left, and now there's only 2 left, right? Because this was a week ago today in Philly. I think all that compounded together when I was walking out of the start line or out of the finish line, drinking my chicken broth, which thank you, Philadelphia Marathon. Absolute, play right there. Like, great idea. Just having chicken broth on a cold day. I was walking out and I had that realization like, wow, we've really done it. Because I knew I had the bib for Tulsa and I knew I had the one for Hawaii and I had the flights booked. And so for me to finish Philly meant that we're actually going to do it this year. And so then I got super emotional and like, I'm going to try to hold myself back from crying right now. I just got super emotional because I just realized like it has taken a full year to get to this spot. And even more than that, it has taken like 4 years of trying to make videos and them not working out. For me to be able to finally have something that works out over the past 2 months and then achieve such insane results. This is like 4 years of work that is not even culminated, but 4 years of work in this one spot of time has just compounded to be worth so much. And that's what made me cry, was like, wow, we're here. We're actually doing the dream.
Would you say you're like living the dream?
Yeah.
Like people ask, like, say that, like, are you living your dream? Like, is this what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pursuit is my dream. I don't ever want to be a content creator who has all the money in the world and is like there and then they just do like side hustles or whatever. My dream is pursuit. So I'm always going to be achieving something. Like I'm just not going to stop. And I'll just have more resources available to achieve crazier things. And then I'll do that for the rest of my life. Like that's my vision. So what does living out the vision look like? It means that I'm in pursuit of anything, really. Like,
What about sub 3? You in pursuit of sub 3?
I talked with some people who have a decent knowledge of running. 3, particularly handsome gentlemen And
Say more.
that's all I can say, really. There's nothing else. It's compelling. No, I'm just kidding. No, for three particularly handsome gentlemen. Which, hold up, Scotty, you got to grow a stash. That way all four of us can have stashes.
Dude, if I grew a stash, my wife's not going to kiss me. And I'm talking massive priority over no stash there.
That's fair. But I did talk with three dashing gentlemen about going sub 3 with none other than a Zoya Joe sometime next year, potentially Mount Charleston in April, Las Vegas.
Vegas.
So yeah, I'm in pursuit of sub 3. That is for show.
And I will tell you this, Wyatt. The sub 3 journey for you is extremely hard, in my opinion. But like, how are you going to carry over I feel like most of the things you did this year were mental.
Mhm.
Well, I don't know. Solid 50-50, but this is like very physical. Like the training aspect is very physical. It's a lot more is built up. Like this isn't like you don't decide you want to go sub 3 the week before you run the race in April, right?
Yeah.
You decide you want to run sub 3 4 months before, and then you put in the work. It's a long game.
Yeah.
Not a. And this is no offense to what you've done for this challenge, but it's not like a week of.
It's
right?
a totally different way of thinking. Yeah.
Right. How are you going to approach that?
1 week at a time.
Good answer.
I would.
I mean, there's no other way to do it. Like,
Yeah.
how have I done this challenge? You know, it's a massive goal, massive undertaking, but then you just do it 1 week at a time. Okay, I have 7 runs this week. You know, I get to chill on these ones. I just have to put in the volume. On these ones, I have to go all out. And then as long as I can hit my numbers, it's an equation. I'm a math guy. I plug in the numbers, I get the answers.
That's essentially what running like a specific like marathon goal is. I mean,
This is what Clark has done. Clark shows up, does his miles, and then he shows up on race day and runs a 2:20, 2:37,
2:28.
Yeah, 2:28.
Yeah.
That's what he just did.
And the dude is 8'7". Like he is tall.
Tall
Dude,
drink of
so
water.
are you.
Yeah, you're tall.
No, I'm 5'8" in real life. Y'all don't understand.
You're over
Like
6
I
foot
wear
for
these
sure.
running shoes and they make me like 6'3". There's no way. Maybe 6 feet tall.
When I first saw you in person, I was like, wow, he's tall. Same with Clark. I was like, okay, he's tall. And then I see Floberg, and I'm like, okay, he's not that tall. I thought
Yeah.
Floberg was taller than Clark. Nope.
That's a name drop.
Yeah.
Name drop. Do you believe in yourself that you can do this? Because I know a lot of people in Louisville that I train with that don't believe they can go sub 3. And
I
that
think
it's hard.
there's a quote from Meditations by Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor at the height of the Roman Empire. And these are his daily thoughts that he put into a journal for everyone to have access to. And it says, if it is humanly possible, I can do it too. So have you done it? Yep. Well, I'm damn sure I can go too.
Dude, I was watching Gladiator today.
The new one?
No, the first one.
I believe you can too. And I just think it's going to take some training to get there.
Yeah.
And
I think, can I do it in April is the question. Because, like, my Achilles is still going to be a little bit messed up. My inside of my right ankle is still going to be a little bit messed up. There's things that, you know, my arch is fallen, right? I have to strengthen my feet. My ankles aren't that strong. So I know I have the lungs. I know my legs are strong enough. I know I can do that for 3 hours straight. Can those parts of my running journey be figured out by then? As well, I'm running potentially, I have no idea, but one of the ideas for next year is to run the 7 world majors. And so I'm running Tokyo, even though I don't have a bib. And that one is the Mac Daddy of most difficult marathon in the world to get into. Even above New York City, dare to say, because it's run by the city of Tokyo. I'm pretty positive. And like everything is sold out and it's impossible to get in, but we always find a way. I'm running that March 17th. And then I have this one 2 weeks later. So I'd have to do that as like a training run and do it like a jogging pace. So like 3 hours, 5 minutes maybe.
Why we have a new hookup in Tokyo. If you maybe need some or to talk to someone about that trip, our boy ran to Japan. We just had him on. He's a British guy. Lives in Japan.
That's sick.
Yeah,
Name drop.
yeah, name drop. Yeah, he just ran 218 today. Shout
What's
out
his
to
name? What's his name?
Jake Barraclaw. His YouTube is ran to Japan. And so is his Instagram. If you want to
Dude,
shoot him a
218 is a really great half. No, I'm kidding. For the marathon. That's insane.
Yeah,
That's
dude,
insane.
He's fast.
yeah,
Yeah.
we just had him on the pod. He's a cool guy. So
I think what's going to be really important for you,
That's-
Wyatt, in these 4 months is getting really serious about strength training for you.
Yeah.
Strength training specific weaknesses. I mean, you mentioned 4 or 3. The ankles and Achilles, like you're going to have to get that strong. Like
Yeah.
because the work you have to do to go sub 3 to get to that point, it takes a lot of speed work. It takes a lot of long runs that are intense. That will probably put you through more pain than a 3:30 marathon with a hurt Achilles.
Yeah.
So we got to get your stuff strong, which I believe we can do it.
The stakes are high. Now
What-
it's on my coaches.
Well, what I do like about your running background is like you're gonna finish this year probably around 2,500 miles. Like you have over 2,000 already, and you definitely need that on the legs. I think a whole year before you can attempt a sub 3. So that's a huge plus that
100%.
you put your body through that amount of stress. Probably more stress than necessary, but definitely good amount of lifetime miles on your legs.
Perfect challenge to do before sub 3. And then maybe in the future doing sub 3 at all the world majors like Rob Dalto.
Yeah.
ooh, another name drop. Shout out Rob Dalto,
Friend of the pod.
friend of the
He's a
pod.
friend of the pod.
Had a Guinness with him one time. No big deal.
Did you
No
really?
big deal.
Where?
It was after the New York City Marathon. No big deal.
Oh,
We both ran it. No big deal.
Guess what, Wyatt?
I don't want to talk about it.
I also had a Guinness with you. I actually bought your Guinness.
Yeah.
Fun fact. And I thought you said, I got to go to the bathroom. And you came back 30 minutes later. I literally thought you passed out. I went to the bathroom, brother. We were in some bar restaurant in Indy, and I thought you died. Like,
Yeah.
I was like, Wyatt just like had a heart attack and died in the bathroom or something. I don't know what happened. I went in there. I looked under the stalls, bro. I was like, Wyatt? And I think there was a dude in there, but it wasn't you. And so I went back and I was like, I don't know where he is. And my buddies were like, we're going to drink this Guinness and order him another one. So I drank like 1/4 of it. And this guy named John Mazzell from Louisville, he drank 3/4 of it, just sculled it. His wife was like, honey, I thought you were driving home. He was like, no. But then we bought you another one. And then you called me and said, sorry, I'm editing a video. I'll be back in a second.
Got to get the footage out, Unless you want to leave the suspense.
dude, shout out John Bazell and Mike Korf at 8:15 a.m. after our long run Saturday. We're having a couple Miller Lights at 8:15 a.m. and 20 degrees after their long run. I couldn't believe
What a
it.
great way to start the day off right.
I have a confession to make. I
Casual.
told Danny I would do this live on the pod. I gave him a hint, and I said I said it was about vanilla ice cream, and then he asked specifics, and I said I wasn't gonna say it to him. I said I would say it on the podcast. So here we go. I give people crap every episode who say they like vanilla ice cream. I ask every person that comes on what their favorite flavor of ice cream is, and 50% of them are vanilla, and it pisses me off to no end. I don't know why, but the other night I love ice cream. The other night there was vanilla ice cream, a half gallon, whole lot of it, after a birthday party for my wife, and that's all we had. It was vanilla. I put it in a cup, a decent amount, a lot of ice cream, and I put some cinnamon in there, and I can't remember what else I put. Maybe some chocolate chips,
And it was good.
It was really good. It was really good. So, Dan, there's my confession.
I'll accept your apology when you eat it straight up vanilla.
Oh, I did. I've had 3 cups from that half gallon. No one else will eat it. I'm gonna have a cup after this, and I won't put anything in it just for you, and I'm gonna enjoy it.
I think we
Apology
all need to
accepted.
accept that vanilla is an incredible flavor of ice cream, but there's a certain personality aspect to the ice cream flavor. So saying that vanilla is your favorite implies that you haven't figured out what personality is best described by an ice cream flavor for myself. And so then it's like, all right, we know vanilla is good. If you had to choose one that no one else would know about you, I would change the question. What flavor of ice cream describes your personality best?
What flavor of ice cream describes your
All right.
personality best?
Here's the vanilla take. You guys want it? Because I'll give it to you right now.
Wait, first, Wyatt, how much time we got you for?
Another 4 minutes. I mean, I'm gonna hop up on the plane, but we can still talk as I'm hopping in the plane.
Sounds
Send
chill.
it.
Dude,
Okay, vanilla ice cream take. Here it is.
Okay.
Saying that vanilla is your favorite ice cream is the ultimate sign of confidence, because you don't need to have to feel like you separate yourself from other flavors or other people because vanilla is the most popular flavor. Okay, so what? Vanilla is a great flavor. I like vanilla. It's my favorite flavor, and I'm secure with that I don't have to be a special little snowflake and go with something like Moose Tracks like Scotty likes. How about that? How about that?
That's fair.
That's crazy.
I'm not going to
That's
say you're wrong, Danny, but I like cookie dough for what it's worth.
Cookie dough's good.
That's my favorite ice cream flavor.
Wyatt is walking through the airport.
Yeah.
Wyatt, what are 5 things we are going to... I'm going to put it on the calendar. I've been talking to my wife about it. Life and Stride Training Camp. What
Things we
are
have to
5...
do.
What?
What are 5 things?
What are 5 things you want to happen daily
Daily.
on this trip? It's going to be 3 days.
We got to start out with a long run
Daily.
Okay.
daily.
Daily.
Then I would say like a speed. I think it's got to be a double. Not a double. What's the Norwegian training?
Oh,
Double
double
T.
threshold.
Double threshold. Yeah, we do single threshold with a long run
Oh,
every day.
Yes. Down. So down.
And then we do like a cold shower, a sauna, and then of course we got to grill out in some way. Burgers, something culminates with a steak.
Ooh.
Okay, keep going. Wait, hold on. Danny, take notes.
2 runs, sauna, cold plunge, cookout.
Yep. And then I would say like we need to have 1 hour of conversation to build out all of our individual visions for our life. This is
Ooh.
Run Club, or this is a training program that just exceeds just running.
Ooh.
Dude,
That could be
let's
like
go.
fire pit or sauna conversations there. We did our 2025 goals in the sauna this past weekend. It was nice.
yeah, we did.
Yeah. We'll talk about it live on the pod, but it's way too personal.
I forgot mine already.
Me too. Actually, I'm pretty sure I said I had none. Wyatt,
Yeah. I've got
I
3
will
more
make
minutes.
you. I will make you the best smoked wings, hot wing. I won't make them hot for you because I know that messes with your stomach. See, I know you
When
inside and
he
out.
remembers. He remembers.
I will make you the best wings you've ever had,
Dude, I will eat them up.
and I can smoke you anything you want. But we will do.
Including marijuana.
Yeah.
There will be no drugs on this training camp. Absolutely not.
Maybe some Advil.
And maybe some Zen.
We got to do brisket. That's a no.
I have never made a brisket, and I've been scared to. And literally, who is better to make my first brisket with than Wyatt Moss?
All the boys.
Yeah,
Dude,
all the boys.
we got to let this man go. He's boarding the plane. He's gonna.
Wyatt,
We don't want to make him pay for that plane Wi-Fi.
it's been an
Yeah.
absolute pleasure, man. I really appreciate your time always, and thanks for being open and honest about the whole challenge this hour and a half. And
Thank y'all for giving me a platform to share my ideas.
Yeah.
yeah, man.
Dude, thank you
Voice
for
crack
being
as
a
I say
great.
that.
You're a great friend to us too.
Ideas.
We really appreciate it. We like. Yeah, I mean, we always say like you might be our favorite episode of all time. That first one, and I mean, I know we were all really looking forward to having you on. So, yeah, man, it's been awesome because, like I said, first episode to now, I mean, it's just crazy, your progression and yeah, just watching you. But all right, we'll let you go. No worries, man. We'll see you, Wyatt. He's boarding the plane, ladies and gentlemen. He's running.
They're calling me over the speaker.
Oh no! Oh
Hold on.
God! Run! All
Let
right,
me
we'll see you,
go.
Wyatt.
Go.
Love you, bro. You can sign off, Wyatt. You can sign off. We'll see you,
Well, here,
bro.
let me go into the gate bridge and then I'll say the final words.
They call them by name.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
You just heard his ticket get scanned. The man is walking through the, what do you call that thing?
The jet
Go.
bridge.
Jet bridge.
Jet bridge.
The jet bridge, duh.
Jet bridge.
Classic. Classic.
All right.
All right.
Wyatt, have a safe flight.
Love y'all, boys.
Love you. Mean it.
Love you, bro. See ya.
Episode 92,
See ya.
Wyatt Moss, ladies and gentlemen.
Peace.